Is Mike coming?
Mike will not be there. Okay.
I don't know.
Oh,
Let us.
I thought you said he was president.
You never know.
I got 7 on the spot.
All right. Okay, we're gonna start this evening's meeting. With welcome everyone to the Town of Waynesburg Planning Board meeting. This is the last meeting of the calendar year. Okay, it's December 19th. My name is Jeff Schmidt. I'm the chairperson of the Town of Waynesburg Planning Board. And let's go around and introduce the members of the board.
Good evening, I'm Mike Harris, I'm the vice chair.
Josh Houghton, planning board member.
Good evening, Elizabeth Novak, planning board member.
Lisa Baker, attorney for the county.
Okay, we are missing Matt.
Not me.
No.
Mike Walpole is a member of the board who is not here today at a time. We also have a relatively new employee for the network. It's
Lindsay Altizer, planning board clerk.
and over there hiding behind the computer is our code enforcement officer and town planner. Chris Parsons. Might be sweet.
Sorry.
So, in any event, I'd like to wish everyone a happy holiday, and since this is the last meeting of the year, we won't meet until 2025 again. The third Thursday of every month is when the meetings are scheduled. The agendas were at the door. The agendas are posted online. The next agenda is pretty simple, I think. I hope. The first part of our meeting is what we call the open forum. Allows anyone to make a statement of interest to the members of the board. Some real rules on what you can say to the board. It's whatever you got on your mind that you'd like the benefit of the board to hear. We ask you that you identify yourself by your name and location within the town. And limit your presentation to about 4 minutes. And if there's an item on tonight's agenda that you'd like to speak about, reserve that until we get to that on the agenda. So with those kind of ground rules in mind, I'd like to make a motion to open the open forum for the Town of Waynesburg Planning Board, December 19th, 2024 meeting.
I'll second that.
Chairman Schmidt,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Harris.
Yes.
Board Member Hoffman,
Yes.
Board Member Houghton,
Yes.
Board Member Novak.
Yes.
Okay, so does anyone would like to make a statement to the board?
Happy holidays.
There you go. Okay. What's your name? You're on the agenda.
I'm just looking at this, it says November
Yeah,
21st,
yeah.
2024, is that?
We have to make an amendment. It's December 19th, 2024. That's a type of clerical error.
Sorry, that's my fault.
That's okay. Point that out because I had the same issue. I looked at it like. Okay, so I don't see any interest in making in the audience, so I'm gonna make a motion to close the open forum.
I'll second that.
Okay, Chairman Schmidt,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Harris.
Yes.
Board Member Hoffman,
Yes.
Board Member Houghton,
Yes.
Board Member Novak.
Yes.
Okay. The next item on tonight's agenda would be public hearings. The first public hearing scheduled is Matthew Weedsy at Batter Street, seeks a special use permit for a multi-family residence. So if Matt is here, can you, before we open the public hearing, just quickly go over what you're doing for the benefit of the audience?
So basically we put in a 24 by 24 two-story garage. I'm seeking public use or special usage permit to house my mother who's currently residing in Myrtle Beach, but she's getting older and I'd like to bring her back so it's easier for me to take care of her. So that's basically why I'm seeking the special uses permit.
So the dimensions of the building are 24 by 24.
Correct.
Which is 576.
Yeah. Yeah.
But before we start the public hearing, I just wanted to go over technicality. Chris Barstow pointed out something in our zoning.
Yeah, so the minimum square footage requirement is 600.
Is this an addition to a house or?
This is a garage. This is space above a garage,
Space above the garage?
not connected to the house.
Would you include the space in the garage too? In the 600 square feet?
It's gotta be living space.
Half of it is.
Well, I actually put in a drawing of a proposed usage for the first floor area. Breaking the separate the one side of the garage, two car garage.
I think it was 864 square feet. I gave you guys a sketch of it, roughly. Yeah,
I think I have a different one.
but it was amended a little bit. We gave you an amended one.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So it looks as though that's the bridge basically on the first, or the kitchen on the first floor.
Correct.
yeah. Yeah, kitchen and little dining room.
So then we're more than 600.
So that would help.
Yeah,
It is.
Okay, that's good. Okay, just wanted to, Chris, the point that you pointed out before.
What's the, so the dimensions on the second story or the full
The
24 by
full 24, we actually put a dormer on the one side, so it opens the whole area as usable space.
Okay. Yeah, this wasn't clear because the upstairs had said 20 foot and then, I mean, the other dimension was, I mean, I could kind of figure it out, but I just want to make sure that it was the full 24 by.
Yep.
And this, they have septic, I mean sewer, public sewer. Right?
No,
This is all septic, so I just had a septic modification done by AGD. The original engineer passed away and it was given to his partner, Luigi. He did a write-up of what I would need to do to accommodate a fourth bedroom, basically. Zach added in, I believe, 2 28-foot laterals. The septic tank that we originally put in was able to accommodate the fourth bedroom as far as size wise, so it was more along the lines of that. Having enough laterals, a leach system.
would this be gravity feed into that?
Yes.
And how would that tie in? Is that on the plan where that would go?
So I didn't have him do the whole draw up of the exact system. I just wanted a kind of a write-up that it was basically doable. If I had to go back and have something, drawn up for permitting or whatever.
Well, yeah, I mean, ultimately, you're gonna have to get DOH approval on
So I have,
Louise's design.
Yeah,
I have, there should be a whole Department of Health approval cover letter and everything, stats. So.
and then your well, I saw that was an
Yeah,
updated
I
report.
also provided the flow specs, the depth and everything that was original DOH.
Yeah, I know, you're right.
We brought it all
Printed
over.
it for everybody.
That,
I think I printed it for everybody.
We made
I didn't.
copies.
Yeah.
Like 9 copies.
It should be in there.
Is it a plan that they signed or a letter? that-
A letter.
I got the whole, I got the whole approval from Don.
Oh, you did, from John?
Yeah, he actually mailed one over and I dropped the original, I picked him up from the office, so.
I mean, if they've got it.
It doesn't make sense, I know. There's no distance.
Oh, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't bring it up, yeah.
Okay, for that reason.
Right.
Okay, all right, so the board just had a few questions, so with that in mind, I'm gonna make a motion to open the public hearing, so if anyone has any comments on this, they can hear them to the board. So I'll make a motion to open the public hearing for the Matthew Louisi special use permit.
I can second that.
Chairman Schmidt,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Harris.
Yes.
Board Member Hoffman.
Yes.
Board Member Houghton.
Yes,
Board Member Novak.
Yes.
Okay, is there anyone in the audience that would like to comment or ask questions or in a particular issue with this proposal? Okay, I'm gonna make a motion to close the public hearing.
You want to turn it down?
yeah, I can say.
Okay. Chairman Schmidt,
Yes.
Board Member Houghton,
Yes,
Board, Chairman Harris,
Yes.
Vice Chairman, sorry. Board Member Hoffman,
Yes.
Board Member Novak.
Yes.
Okay, now, the next steps are,
This is a type 2 action of
Yes,
two
I
action.
think seekers.
so we have no other
We
secret
have
action.
no secret, further secret review is required.
So do we have a county planning letter for this one?
What?
Yeah.
No, I.
Now I can see.
It hasn't, they haven't come back yet.
When, we sent it out more than 30 days.
No, do you have proof of what we sent in that?
I can check my email.
Yeah, I mean, we could go ahead and approve it if it's been more than 30 days. I know though that there's a letter here on. So we got other letters back this month, so. I'm just surprised we don't have anything. And nobody has it in their packet from before or anything?
No. That approval references the revised plan for the region.
This one right here.
That's on the screen, yeah.
Is this younger?
So,
This is.
Oh, yes. I have one for younger, but I haven't seen it for this.
This is all I got.
yeah, I was just wondering, I.
Do you want me to go get it? I thought I printed it.
I don't have, I just want to make sure it references this plan.
Hang on.
what's so obviously, the septic system upgrade or, addition, what's the plan with capping or decommissioning the holding tank that's, I think you said it was currently going into holding tank?
Well, the holding tank is just existing in the ground, there's nothing going in there. We put in place for the area that was there previously.
Oh, okay,
Not being used.
okay. So it's not incorporated in this new system anyway?
This would have to go to.
It's gonna go to here. Okay.
This is just gonna go, see if you have anything to say on the plan, that would be the last.
Yeah.
Typically, county planning don't do a lot of.
Was it in the?
I'm looking through all the,
We got it. But we go second right after the last meeting. Which was the 21st.
So we're not at.
We're not at it yet.
We're like 2 days short.
Yeah.
so will it be a problem if you guys come back at the next meeting for an approval?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, we apologize.
Looking good at it done today.
Yeah.
Fortunately.
We're supposed, We're supposed to wait and see if the county has any conditions.
I mean, that's something you guys are supposed to send out, not me, right?
Oh, no, you didn't do anything
Oh, all
wrong.
right, yeah.
No.
Neither did we.
You sent it out.
They just
Yeah,
didn't get to it.
They have 30
They have
days to
30 days.
respond,
Yeah.
and just the way the meetings fell, the 21st, and now it's the 19th, so.
No worries, absolutely.
Well, we'll do, we need to do it now.
Teresa, is there any chance we
No,
can addition it? No.
no, we're not gonna get into the habit of that.
I know, yeah.
If there's no pressing reason to. Okay.
Okay, what we'll do is
We didn't even know if we were gonna.
So this was just a preliminary step. I mean, it's not guaranteed that she's gonna even wanna come back here, but I would rather have this in place now
Okay.
than have to worry about doing this down the road and having to be pressed for time, like she needs to be here now, and you know, we've got to go through
It's
it.
very good.
Yeah.
When it's happening.
I mean, in all honesty, it might not happen that way, but I just rather go through this route now.
Next time, come back next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Find out when the next time is, right?
we have just a little technicality. We have to make a motion. to
Yes,
close-
you did.
We did.
Close it, or you could table it, right?
Yeah, now, we need a motion to table this application until our next meeting, which is January 16th, 2025.
I'll second that.
Okay. Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Board Member Hoffman,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Harris,
Yes.
Board Member Houghton,
Yes.
Board Member Novak.
Yes.
January 16th, start this.
It appears that all the ducks
You
are
don't
in a
do
row.
anything else from me on my half, we're good. We're out here.
If that letter comes in, you can check with, you know, Lindsay or somebody during the interim, see if we got it back and it's, I would suspect it'll be favorable, you know.
Yeah, let's see, but we have to wait for next meeting.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Fair enough.
Great holiday.
You too.
All right, the next public hearing tonight will be the Cecilia subdivision located on the corner of Mud Road and Skyline Drive. The major subdivision creating 3 lots on a 46-acre parcel. Let's see, there you are. Gone through this several times, just a brief. We got a map up, we can put up.
Yeah.
So to the audience.
Nice. Wow.
So basically, all we're doing is taking the 46 acres, dividing it into 3 lots. The smallest lot being about 14 acres, a little over 14 acres. And what we're gonna do is all the access for the driveways is gonna be on Skyline Drive. That's proposed. Actually, there's another map that has driveways and
You got the driveways, the houses.
driveways, houses, septic, well, all plotted up onto it.
I was gonna notice. Would you look to the other map?
That's the only map I have.
If you want, I have one right here. Actually, well,
The-
Bring it in. And did you bring any other maps in?
Yeah, it's the last one.
I wasn't given any other maps.
yeah, there was other maps that we sent,
Who sent them?
quite a while ago. I can't even remember. It actually showed up last month.
You know,
Did it?
Yeah.
I think it's in the.
I might
in
have
the
taken it
packet.
down then.
Yeah, it's in the packet.
Okay.
So let me try getting this on the road without it going all over the floor.
It's just a.
So basically, it's the same map when it shows the lots
Hundreds, this is
with the driveways, proposed houses and stuff.
Yeah. All 2 sheets. Very long.
The only thing I have to say is they better have a big bulldozer to get in there. Because it's thick.
All right, so with that as background, I'll make a motion to open the public hearing for the Cecilia subdivision.
I'll second.
Okay,
Chairman Schmidt,
yes.
Board Member Novak,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Harris, Board Member Hoffman,
Yes.
Board Member Houghton.
Yes.
If anyone has any comments or questions about this particular permit, we can speak up now.
It is quiet. All right, hearing nothing, I'll make a motion to close the public hearing for the Cecilia subdivision.
I'll second.
Vice Chairman Harris.
Yes.
Board Member Nova.
Yes.
Chairman Schmidt.
Yes.
Board Member Hoffman.
Yes.
Board Member Howland.
Yes.
So we didn't need anything from last time. It was just citing public hearing, right? There's nothing else about.
Major something. How are we on seeker?
We have seeker, so I can go ahead and make a preliminary seeker determination for the board. So at a prior meeting, we determined that this was an unlisted action as a major subdivision. And we completed part 2 and part 3 of the short environmental assessment form. The applicant provided us with part 1. And I will go ahead and review our preliminary seeker determination for the project. The Town of Dwaynesburg Planning Board has reviewed the application for the Cecilia major subdivision to create 3 lots from an approximately 46-acre parcel located at the corner of Mudge Road and Skyline Drive in the town of Dwaynesburg. The 46-acre parcel is located in the R2 agricultural residential zoning district. The resulting 3 parcels will be approximately 14, 16, and 16.1 acres in size. The proposal has been reviewed and evaluated for environmental impacts in accordance with the State Environmental Quality Review Act, including part 1 and completion of parts 2 and 3 of the short environmental assessment form. On part 2 of the form, identification of potential project impacts, none have been identified as moderate to large. The planning board has declared itself as lead agency, conducted a coordinated review, and determined the project to be an unlisted action. Overall, the project has been found to be consistent with the town comprehensive plan, zoning ordinance, and subdivision ordinance. The environmental review of the proposal did identify the potential for regulated wetlands to be present on the property. If development on the property occurs in future, impacts to any regulated water bodies must be avoided, or the necessary permits and approval will be secured from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and or the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation as appropriate. Furthermore, any potential future development will need to comply with all applicable local, state, and federal laws and regulations. For example, soil disturbance on the parcels will need to go to the New York State DEC's general permit for state pollutant discharge elimination system from construction activity. In addition, wastewater treatment systems will require approval from the County Environmental Health Department, and work within the highway right-of-way will require approval from the County Department of Engineering and Public Works. For these reasons, it has been determined the project will not result in any significant adverse environmental impacts in accordance with Article 8 of the Environmental Conservation Law. Therefore, the Town of Dwaynesburg Planning Board issued a negative declaration for the Cecilia major subdivision. And I will make that motion.
Second.
Okay. Board Member Nova.
Yes.
Board Member Hoffman.
Yes.
Chairman Schmidt.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Harris.
Yes.
Board Member Howland.
Yes.
You know, from the board on this, you can make a motion to approve, right? So,
We closed the public hearing, right?
Yes.
that was last week.
So you have the county referral and it has 2 conditions suggested.
And I mentioned those in the seeker determination. Should we condition approval on this? So I'll go ahead and make the motion to approve the Cecilia, and I apologize for mispronouncing that, major subdivision on Skyline Drive with 2 conditions which were provided by Schenectady County Department of Planning. In particular, wastewater treatment systems will require approval from the County Environmental Health Department, 1. And 2, we work within the highway right-of-way will require approval from the County Department of Engineering and Public Works. So I will make the motion to approve this proposal with those 2 conditions.
Just question, do we have to put the condition about the SWIP as well?
I just use that as an example.
Well,
We
it,
typically don't.
okay,
Yeah.
I mean, these lots showing where he is, they're gonna be over an acre of disturbance for a residential, so they're gonna need a basic SWIP.
We haven't done it before, so I don't know.
I mean, the way she read the resolution, it covers it, that they've gotta get their permit.
Right, and I think that's fine because, you know, these right now, there's no houses proposed for these. All they're doing is dividing the land.
Yeah,
And so under those circumstances, we not require.
I can second that.
Okay. Board Member Novak,
Yes.
Board Member Houghton,
Yes.
Chairman Schmack,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Harris,
Yes.
Board Member Hoffman.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
In the public hearing portion of tonight's meeting. The next item on tonight's agenda would be old business. Which is Bill Alada. Special use permit to relocate to Hickory Hill Smokehouse. On, lot number 2 on intersection of New York State 30 and Youngs Road. Yes. Public hearing was conducted at our last meeting.
And it is a type 2 action pursuant to seeker. And then you have a resolution in front of you.
Well, we're waiting for something last time that we couldn't do this. Was there something outstanding from the county?
I believe we were waiting for the county and the county has come in. So, yeah, we have that and the conditions recommended by the county, plus the conditions discussed by the board during a public hearing are also in there.
Resolution.
Of course, I can't find my
Yeah, okay.
resolution.
Yeah, we got that one.
No, I think it's this one. I think.
Bill has provided a new map showing the potential for quite additions that was going. Future, do you want to get back? We're discussing quite of the apps. Quite of the.
I see what you did there. Yeah, he was good. That was a good one.
Yeah.
And the square footage with the addition is still under 4,000 square.
Right,
feet.
yes. Right, so Teresa, has prepared a resolution that will carry along with the permit. I'm not sure. Really need to, should we read it, Teresa?
Yeah, yes.
Let's let Josh read it right here.
All right.
You gotta get your big lines on it.
I'll start coughing.
Try not.
Town of Lansing Planning Board Resolution. We have to vote for it. Or-
Don't worry about that.
Whereas Phil Alada has applied for a special use permit to move his existing business, Hickory Hill Smokehouse LLC, located on New York State Route, located at New York State Route 30 and Youngs Road, being lot 2 containing 12.398 acres of the lot subdivision by Heldenberg Realty. Henry A. Whipple out of a farm. And whereas the major subdivision was previously reviewed by the town planning board pursuant to the town subdivision ordinance, the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act, the negative declaration of environmental significance was issued determining that no EIS would be prepared. And whereas the applicant's business plan dated October 5th, 2024 describes Hickory Hill Smokehouse LLC and Cafe as a specialty butcher shop offering premium smoked meats and cheeses and custom processing services to local farms. The shop will also induce a small cafe, and whereas the town code enforcement officer issued a determination that this use, a retail business, is allowed in the commercial C1 district on this lot with a special use permit inclusive of a site plan review for the town planning board. And whereas the planning board determined that the proposed action was a type 2 action pursuant to seeker because of size of the proposed structure is less than the 4,000 square feet pursuant to NYCRR part 617.5 C9, construction or expansion of a primary or accessory pertinent non-residential structure or facility involving less than 4,000 square feet of gross floor area and not involved in a change in zoning or a use variance and consistent with the local land use controls. Whereas the application was referred to Schenectady County Planning, and the response provided by Schenectady County Planning dated November 18th, 2024, was that it was conditionally approved and all the recommended conditions have been adopted by the planning board in the resolved clauses below. And whereas the applicant also provided an updated drawing to the planning board, see attached drawing showing a structure to be built in 2 phases with 15 parking spaces and a potable water well and septic system and driveway to Interstate Route 30. Whereas a duly noticed public hearing was held at the town planning board meeting on November 21st, 2024, and the town board considered the public comments offered on the project. And now therefore be it resolved, planning board confirms its determination that the proposed action is a type 2 action pursuant to seeker. Be it further resolved that the planning board finds that the application meets all the requirements and standards for a special use permit, and that the site plan meets the requirements of the zoning ordinance of the town of Waynesburg. And be it further resolved that the applicant is required to obtain a highway permit from New York State DOT in order to construct its driveway on Interstate Route 30, and that no driveway will be placed on Young's Road due to the road grade present and safety concerns. Be it further resolved that the applicant is required to show prior to issuance of a building permit for the structure, county environmental health department approval for the wastewater treatment and public wastewater,
public water.
public water supply, confirming that he has a potable water well capable of servicing the business and that he has an approved septic system design. Be it further resolved that the applicant have a New York State Department of Ag and Markets, Article 20C food processing establishment license prior to the issuance of a certificate of occupancy. I can make that motion.
Is this open for discussion or?
Yes.
The, on the second page, second paragraph, when we talk about the highway permit for DOT to construct a driveway on Interstate Route 30. Couldn't you just put a period there? Do we need to go on and say that no driver will be placed on Young's Road due to grade present safety concerns? I think that's, that's not the initial plan, but is that necessary to say that as part of this resolution? Because that could be further perhaps explored at another time, should we want to take a look at that. I'd rather not, close that door.
My recollection was that there was public.
I mean, it is approved. The subdivision did approve a driveway there.
Yeah, because originally the
It was
driveway was
originally
on 30.
Was that?
Yeah,
Okay.
so I'm not saying it's
It's up to
it's-
the board. I just remember somebody questioning the safety.
It just didn't make sense.
yeah, I mean, we were looking for a driveway on Route 30, but that was initially that was approved part of the subdivision.
How would you do that on this map? Where would the driveway to Young Road go?
Well, I think we would have to pull up the map. from the
It's actually
subdivision.
shown,
It's actually shown on there.
those 2 dashed lines.
But in terms of, I think you're
Oh,
talking
that's
about
way
Young's
there,
Road,
yeah.
though, yeah.
Oh, I see. It's right at that intersection.
I mean, the other thing to keep in mind, if you put a driveway there, you're definitely gonna be over 1 acre of disturbance. And this is a commercial business, so you're gonna need a full SWIP, so I would not recommend.
I'm not, I mean, this is just, I don't have a crystal ball, I don't know.
Well, you can always come back and amend, you can, if for some reason in the future you want to have a driveway off of there, you can always amend this resolution in your special use permit.
In that connection point at that intersection of 30 and Young's, I think we want to put conditions in there. Something to make it safer for that spot, so. I would recommend what Matt's saying is,
I mean,
leave it and come back.
I guess my point is it necessary to raise that issue in this resolution where the proposal on the site plan is to put the driveway on Route 30? But this proposal goes a step further and say, well, no, you can't put a driveway there due to safety concerns. What I'm just saying is, let's just put a period after New York State Route 30 and leave the less, and just strike through that.
I think the intent of the resolution is saying you can't put a driveway there as is without making upgrades potentially to make it safe. So again, if you wanted to do something there, you would come back in the future, show what you've done to make the driveway location in that location appropriate, and then we could amend the permit.
I mean, Henry Whipple went through a subdivision, had that driveway approved there, and the board approved that at the time.
We approved the subdivision. We didn't approve any usage or driveway cuts or anything really. I mean, it was just the subdivision.
I mean, I'm not comfortable having that language in there. I don't think it's necessary. I think it's overstating the point. I don't think it needs to be in there.
Well, ultimately, it's up to the board.
Yeah, I mean, this is, my opinion, and I want to keep my options open as a.
We hear you. We're just saying that you have to come back anyhow whenever you want to change the site plan that's been approved. So it's not like a guideline. The site plan itself is what you're building.
But when I have to do that anyway, though, to put a driveway in, you have to apply for a permit and go through the whole process.
Right, and I guess the benefit of having it in the resolution is the board is going to remember that this safety issue needs to be addressed. But again, it's up to the board, whatever you guys want to do.
I mean, based on the site plan map, I think it's appropriate to say. That's my opinion.
I don't think I could offer maybe a compromise in that. We could stop after your safety 30 and then say. Any alternate plans to driveway placement needs to come back for review, but it's kind of the same.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing.
Doesn't really change the functionality of what would have to happen.
Do we call out? And does it call out specifically that the site plan? Very good.
It does, it attaches that. The last one we got from him will be attached to the resolution and be part of the record.
And if you also look at the map, it says approximate location of existing driveway. It doesn't say that that's the driveway for any development, proposed development of the site. So,
Why don't we just say in that no driveway will be placed on Young's Road at this time, and then in the future, you guys can take it up. Does that work for you all?
Yeah, that's fine.
That works.
Yeah, I mean, I think if we're gonna speculate about safety concerns in grade, then we want to get more into more detail about what that looks like, what does that mean? And again, it's not my intention to do that, but I just want to leave that door cracked open should, and these things are shifting all the time, so I want to, rather than, creating a situation where it would be difficult to be revisited.
I can make that motion as amended.
Yep, so now it'll read, be it further resolved that the applicant is required to obtain a highway permit from DOT in order to construct its driveway on New York State Route 30. No driveway will be placed on Young's Road at this time.
And as a matter of fact, I did meet with the New York State DOT engineers and we did walk the property.
Mhm.
And they actually were encouraging me to put it on Young's Road with the existing driveway drawn in water. They thought that was a better place to put it than go through the whole process of trying to put it off around 30. So just some background information on their perspective.
Well,
I was gonna say, my perspective with DOT is they're trying to not have any work associated with it.
Well, it is a 20-page permit application, but I will. And believe me, there's a lot more involved. going up state road, so.
I'll second the motion.
Board Member Houghton,
Yes.
Board Member Novak,
Yes.
Chairman Schmidt,
Yes, but I have one, just, there's a couple of little typos that we have to address.
Yeah.
I guess the third whereas, the word reduce will be changed to include. And near the bottom of the page, it says, "And the town board considers the public comments."
Oh, you have the wrong version.
Oh.
I think,
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
we caught that.
okay, okay.
Yeah, and third paragraph, second page was public water.
Yep, we got that, yep.
Okay. And yes,
Vice Chairman Harris.
Yes.
Board Member Hoffman.
Yes.
Who motioned it, just so I can.
I did.
Josh and I second.
Thanks. Very much.
good.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for your time. Chris, would you have, is there a formal permit process that you actually issue a permit, or this resolution is the permit?
Yeah, there's no special.
Building, oh, building.
Yeah.
No,
Get
no,
ready to build, yeah.
but this resolution is the special use permit.
This resolution is the special use permit. It'll be completed, signed by Jeff as the chairman. It'll be stamped, received by the town clerk, and then you'll get a copy in the mail.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay, and that takes about a week or.
Takes as long as it takes Jeff to sign it.
Oh, okay. Tomorrow. All right, good. Have a good night. Happy holidays. Thank you.
Happy holidays.
Okay. Okay, next on old business would be Frank Younger. 183 Spring Road. Special use permit for a two-family dwelling.
Yeah, so I had to resubmit the newly revised plan that you should all have that included the French drain and the proposed changes in elevation. That sort of thing.
Yes. Yeah, that was it's.
Public hearing was last month.
Yeah.
That's where we got the comments about the grading.
The grading, yeah. We're gonna go back and think about that, and obviously you have some.
Yeah.
Why don't you just. You got the plans, so tell us. Sweet indentures, but we don't have to.
So you see up on the top right of this corner area here, it shows the French. He added this part in here to the plan, which goes along both sides of the property. And he just kind of showed the proposed changes in elevation. We're just, we're looking to smooth this grade out from up here is even to the road until it gets to the house, and then it will taper down on both sides. And that's what was added, was the French drain. The roof gutter over here was added as well, just to make sure there's no runoff of water off the roof from the garage.
And that's gonna tie into your French drain.
Yes,
The French drain actually daylight did something.
yeah, it's gonna daylight here about 50 feet or so from the lake.
So it looks like you're doing about 2.5 feet of fill on average.
That'd be about average, yeah. Yep. The only real reason for the fill is just to have less concrete on the sides there, so. We don't have, because we have to go down 4 feet to the frost line, so.
And Chris, correct me, the garage is framed and built, right?
Correct.
Yes.
You know how much higher this new elevation is than the neighbors, roughly?
Probably 2.5 to 3 feet at most, like over here as an example.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you can see he's tying the 1282 contour in to the existing 1282 contour. But the garage is gonna be, he didn't put a finished floor elevation of the garage. But it looks like it's gonna be about 1283.50 or so would be my guess. And the 1284 contour is tying in. So you're gonna have on the right hand side or east side of the garage, you're gonna have 1.5 higher than the neighboring property. Looking at it, basically.
Yeah, it's approximately right, maybe only a foot, but foot to foot and a half.
Which that drain should take care
The
of.
drain is lower than it, so what we have to, he calls out a roof gutter. But he doesn't really show the roof gutter tying into
Right.
the French drain.
I'm sure Chris will make sure that I do that.
Yeah, well, I got it. The reason I'm asking these questions, because I got a phone call from DEC about this property and project. Just asking us to make sure that the grade isn't significant to where it's gonna flood out the neighbor's properties. That's basic. And I said we were reviewing it. Planning board's reviewing it. So
Yeah, I mean,
that's why I said, I mean, a foot and a half.
right now. The way it is, that French drain hopefully is going to take the runoff from where the well is
Yeah,
back.
okay.
It's from the well forward that isn't really taken
Towards
account.
Spring Road.
Yeah, from the well to Spring Road, that's not really taking into, that water's not gonna get into that French drain unless those roof leaders are tied into it.
See, the problem I have with that though is that part of the property didn't change. The driveway was always elevated and then it went down to the house like this.
Understood.
So, I mean,
It is changing now, though. You can see he's proposing to change it. You can see he's tying the grade line in.
yeah,
It is changing. He's adding fill from the middle of the garage back. The dashed line is existing contour,
yeah,
which is 182 that's going through the garage. The garage now is gonna be higher than 182 finished floor. It's gonna be at 184. You can see that's tying in. And then the 182 contour is coming up from the house, tying into that existing 182 contour. So it is changing. He's putting fill in that location, which is fine as long as the roof leaders are tied into the French drain.
oh,
It might be a good idea to put some elevations on the plan, like first floor elevation. And then the elevations of that French drain, the invert elevation of the drain on both sides. We ran into this on another project.
Are you talking about right here?
Yeah.
And we just want this extended to here, right? I mean, I think it was supposed to be just, when I went to Lance's house to pick it up, that's where he had it drawn to, and I just didn't, but that was the intention all along, is the roof gutter would link
I mean,
into there.
condition,
So you want a number right here, but the
Yeah, I would
elevations?
think the grade, so that if somebody is gonna go out there and build it, they know what they're shooting for.
Yeah.
We had another project that went south on us, but there was no elevation done on a, a runoff control measure, and it still haunts us to this day. So I think any of these things like that, first floor, or second floor and first floor elevations in these buildings should be spotted in relative to the elevations of the French drain.
Could we put some conditions, Jeff?
Yeah.
That we can,
yeah, I mean, I think,
rather than
We
having
can-
to update the map.
Yeah, put conditions. Even the outlet of the French drain relative to the lake level, something like that,
is there any required setback for that French drain to discharge from the lake?
I don't know. That is, I don't know.
that would be a DEC, but I don't think so.
No.
Cause he's got us permit to work within 100 feet of the lake.
Yeah. So get an elevation there.
Is anybody bothered that the site plan was prepared from tax records, deed and field measurements without the benefit of an accurate boundary survey? Didn't you guys have a boundary survey when you bought the parcel?
No,
That's weird.
I don't think there are many boundary surveys on, in Springfield from talking to a couple of the neighbors.
I'm sure.
I mean, ultimately, you know, if you build, I mean, the garage is already built, so if it's
Yeah, so
it's over the property line, I mean, and your neighbor comes out and gets a survey and says it's over the property line, I mean, that's.
well, I mean, the way it's shown, I mean. Number one's the building next to it, and the eve looks like it's overhanging the property.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah.
You mean building number 173?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
looking at.
I think that's why everybody's afraid to have their property surveyed on Spring.
yeah, it's like collective, everybody's like,
Just,
yeah.
well,
Take
because
the
the
whole
problem
road
with the
down.
garage, the garage is back in the same spot it was.
in that
So-
vein, what we could also say is the French drains, should be located
They should extend.
5 feet from the property line to make sure that they're, you know, or as best we
Well, the
can.
problem is the building is only assumed to
15.
be 2.5 feet from the property line.
I'm talking about the French drain.
Yeah, no, but you can't move the French drain back any further, it's gonna be in the garage.
No,
If they-
towards the house,
Yeah.
off the sidelines.
But if we wanted to extend it to the, essentially to the, that corner of the garage, it can, I guess it could be.
Yeah,
in
you-
that
you-
corner,
yeah.
Just to be clear though, you can put drains, roads, anything within the,
Fences.
very close to the, so I'm not, I wouldn't create a
Yeah.
problem. You know,
I was saying if you were worried that we don't know where the property line is, to
No.
make sure that the French drains are within his rights and not on someone else's
I mean-
property.
that's him and Lance
Yeah.
are on the hook for that, not you guys.
Okay.
I mean,
I mean, I think if we condition that the French drain, the gutters will tie into the French drain, and, I mean, I think that would handle the issue. Yeah.
It's a type 2 action and we have a county response that basically says, we don't care.
The roof gives you the time of the French drains. Is there anything else from yours that was different with your elements and elevations and like?
Yeah, I just think, like typically a French drain detail, it doesn't say what the diameter of the pipe is, it's probably a 4-inch pipe, but I mean, 4-inch pipe should be a little bit more, detailed.
Normally, in freezing conditions, you do DEC recommends 6-inch.
Yeah.
In areas where you've got frost.
Yeah, we only down a little bit, so it's gonna pretty solid.
So normally, I would recommend a 6-inch and that details, you're gonna want, if a 6-inch, that detail's gonna have to get a little bit deeper.
Should he have geotextile around the trench so that it doesn't blind it?
Not geotextile, you want filter fabric. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's a little bit more detail on the design of the French drain so that we know it's gonna work.
Yeah, I think this is the filter fabric right here, and Lance said something about he should have probably labeled that, and I guess he forgot to.
You can condition it,
Yeah, but what Mike has suggested is, so we get this thing.
Yep.
Out of here.
Yeah.
We'll give you the conditions that have to be on here before you build it.
Perfectly fine.
Chris will.
Okay, what about are you good with the elevations?
I'd like to get spot elevations of the first floor and a grade on that French drain, whether it's, you have, 2% grade on it, or 1% grade. Just so that we know it looks like it's gonna flow downhill. You got 4 feet of grade, 6 feet of grade
Yeah,
in the garage
almost,
now.
yeah.
So,
But the garage, as you said, the garage is built.
yeah.
So is the fill not put around the garage already?
Around the garage,
I think it's fun to
raise it
see
around the
the
house.
elevation of the floor relative to the grade.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, there should be a finish, like I said, based on 1284 here. my guess is the finished floor of that is 1283.50, 1283.75, something like that would be my guess.
Yes.
So Mike, are you comfortable listing the conditions?
The ones we've had said so far, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody have anything else? Okay.
No.
Okay, so I make a motion to approve the Yonker, special use permit for two-family dwelling, for the 183 Spring Road. With the following 3 or 4 conditions. The roof leader, they're going to tie into the French drains. The French drain detail is going to be altered to have a 6-inch pipe, due to freezing concerns, and then adjust the detail accordingly. And then also add filter fabric. And then, please, before you, submit this, because you have to sign this, I think, right? Does the site plan get signed? As part of the,
No, Chris is gonna be the one verifying that they meet those
okay,
conditions.
so this, an altered site plan will be provided that shows spot elevations for the floors and also locations along the French drain to show proper drainage.
Inverts and slopes.
Along the French drain.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
So let me see if I can repeat that.
Okay,
So connect the roof leaders into the French drain.
yes,
Make the French drain pipe be 6 inches. Add filter fabric around the 6-inch pipe. Add spot elevations on inverts and slopes for the French drain. And for the, what,
garage floor.
garage floor elevation. And you've got those, Lindsay, too? Okay.
Does that make sense, Mr. Yonker? Is that okay?
Sure.
He's taking notes.
Okay.
That's former.
Just, it's not around the pipe, it's around the French drain section. So
Yeah.
it goes around the stone, not. the pipe.
Yeah.
The filter fabric.
Yeah.
Yeah, that, he drew that in, but he didn't label it.
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah.
Turn the heat down, Chris? Yeah, thank you.
It
Oh,
feels
they gotta
like-
work it, James.
It does feel
Go ahead.
good.
They come with clean.
Okay, good. So we gotta,
We had,
No one seconded.
I second that.
Oh,
And you noted that it's a type 2 action and the county planning was,
I
no.
did not. I further amend the motion to note that it's a type 2 action and that the county had no comments when they referred to them.
I can second as amended.
all right, Vice Chairman Harris.
Yes.
Board Member Houghton,
Yes.
Chairman Schmidt,
Yes.
Board Member Hoffman,
Yes.
Board Member Novak.
Yes.
There you go.
He was a name divider.
It's already said.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
No wonder.
That was pretty good.
How long is it?
Okay, Frank, you're,
Thanks very much.
Thank
you.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Imagine what was packing here.
Well,
Okay, so my quilting room.
I think.
you were right. You said get this planning board stuff going right away because it's gonna take months. And, you were right.
hey, you know what they say? Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Thanks. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Something special under the tree this year. Resolution.
Yeah.
Okay, we're on to what we call new business. It's, Williamsburg, yes, wires and wireless, the cell tower on Chadwick Road. Here we go.
Nice to see you all again. My name is James Val, I work for the law firm Young Summer, we operate as regional counsel at Verizon Wireless. We were here last month for sketch plan review, and now we're back to, I believe you guys received the full application in front of you this evening. Additionally, we have been in front of the zoning board of appeals because this project does also require variance. The ZBA meeting was on Tuesday night, I believe. And they sent us back here, because before the ZBA takes any action, they would like you guys to firm yourselves as the lead agency on seeker. So we're here for that this evening, and also to walk you through the completed application that's in front of you. Nothing's changed since last time, but I just like to take a few minutes, kind of give you the 10,000-foot view of what we're looking to do again, answer any questions, and go from there.
What's zoning that you're gonna ask?
Yeah, what does it need for the variance?
I
excuse me.
was at the meeting
Okay.
by the captain stands. there's a use variance that's required because telecommunications towers are only required in C1 and C2.
Okay, so it was.
It's
yeah,
a use
okay.
variance, so there's a special standard though for use variances with telecommunications and public utilities. And so there's very little doubt that they will get the use variance,
Yeah.
so you didn't hear me say that. So the question was, did the zoning board of appeals wish to be lead agency? They did not. They wished you to be lead agency and they even voted on that. So the one thing you should probably do tonight, once he's done with his presentation, is classify the action and start the process of declaring lead agency and also getting it to county planning.
Okay.
That's where we are with it. If anybody wants to see the case law and use variances for telecommunications.
It's in your book.
It's in there. Yes.
In the very extensive reading for you.
I love those books, can I just say?
You just pull up sheet SB1.
Yes.
Yeah. So briefly, what Verizon's proposing to do is build I believe it's 120-foot telecommunications tower with 12-foot lighting on top of it, bringing it to a grand total of 124 feet. Verizon identifies areas of need for increased RF coverage and capacity through a combination of two things. It's our own internal RF engineers doing propagation studies and analyzing what network coverage is at capacity or in need, and through a combination of customer complaints when they call us drop. This map will show you exactly where we're looking to go on this property. The tower itself is located about 1,200 feet back in the front of the property. It will be located inside a 100 by 100 square foot lease area. Within that 100 by 100 area, then we erect a 50 by 50 fenced in compound. That compound will contain the monopole itself, which will have the antennas mounted on top of it, along with all necessary equipment such as our H-frames, electrical. We have a backup diesel generator proposed for the site. And that compound is also then large enough should other providers such as AT&T, T-Mobile, whoever wishes to come to town. There's ample space within the compound and on the tower itself for them to also then be located on it to reduce telecommunications towers being erected. Verizon's panels will be mounted at the 115-foot line. We were here first, so we would like the top spot. And then we spoke briefly last time as part of your telecommunications law about proposed viewshed analysis. You and the board last time indicated that you didn't have any preferences exactly on where photos would be taken from and to leave that to our engineers. I did bring with me tonight a series of maps from Tectonic Engineering. Yeah, or work. Just the X's on the maps of the proposed viewshed locations. What we'll then do from there is our engineers will literally go out. We will fly a balloon at the actual tower location at a height of 120 feet and mark where the top of the tower would be. Our engineers then go around town to these locations, take photos. If there is any visibility of the tower, then what we actually do is we'll go in and quite literally photo send in a small little cell tower into the photo so you can see what it would actually look like. I don't know how much of the booklet is all digitized here, but I find one of the most beneficial ways to demonstrate the increased coverage capacity through our RF maps. If you all would flip to tab 6 in the books in front of you, you can demonstrate quickly what this proposed tower will actually do for coverage in the area once it's online. So if you go to tab 6, and then if you flip to the second page of tab 6, you can see it says Exhibit 1, existing reliable Verizon 700 megahertz coverage in southern Williamsburg. If you take that page, in the center of this rectangular area, this red box, which is what we identify as our search ring, it's where we can put a tower potentially, but would actually work to increase and improve RF coverage. This little 3-pronged triangle is the proposed Williamsburg site. If you then flip to the page behind that to Exhibit 2, you can then see this green coverage, which then is also inside this area, is what the increase in improved service would look like in the The best way to describe cell towers and how they work is something of a honeycomb, meaning that each tower, you'll see on the map, there are several others within the area. Each tower on a good day, perfect visibility, clearness, no storms in the area, no topography in the way, can throw a signal about 3 to 3.5 miles or so. However, of course, not everything's clear day, topography isn't always perfect. So the way we erect towers in the telecommunications system is that you always have a little bit of overlap between them. So you create something of a honeycomb then. And what that does then is it allows for, as you travel further away from one tower, it allows the towers and the coverage to seamlessly hand off from one to the next, to the next, to the next. So you're not dropping signal calls, text, internet, whatever it may be. Also, just for posterity, and because we always bring it up, these towers and their RF signals and emissions are regulated by the FCC. This tower, when completely turned on, all bandwidths on it maxed out, operating at 100% power, would operate at less than 2% allowable FCC emissions. These towers seldom operate at that level of RF emission, meaning that power and power to them fluctuates throughout the day. I think a lot of people around it in a high density area, all the bandwidth might be maxed out. But at night, 3, 4, 5 a.m., when no one's awake and there's no demand on the tower, it powers down to whatever level it needs. In sum, that's a pretty 10,000-foot view of what we're looking to do. More than happy to answer any questions anybody has at this point. I know it's a lot of stuff to dump at once.
The only question I have relates to the access road and the turnarounds and stuff that we talked about last meeting. It doesn't appear like there were any changes made to that.
No, so those access road turnarounds that we discussed for the needing of 2 fire apparatus are actually only regulations that exist to homes which are occupied and structured. They do not apply to non-occupied structures.
Not
To the solar.
Yeah, solar facility, I'm not, because there can still be an incident at these towers.
We understand that. I am more than happy to provide the law to the board if we would like. We did look at it and double check it.
So you were looking at Appendix D of the building code? Is that what you were looking at?
I would have to pull exactly what it was, but I do know for a fact that when in all these projects, we've never had that issue before.
If that was the case, nobody is.
It's the emergency, it's the fire code, it's not the building
It's
code.
New York State Fire Code.
Yeah, it's not building code, it's fire code.
But it's Appendix D. So you have it, Chris.
Yeah,
You want to go pull it?
yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. He said a law though, and what was, you said it was a law that you guys?
We law codes, I'm using it.
Yeah, I was just saying, there's 2 different things. If it was a law, then I definitely don't know.
So I think everybody would be very interested in any views from the elementary school or the park across the street.
Okay.
I know that would be the biggest issue.
They got the school marked.
Yep, they do. The park is not marked.
There was a list of what those.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I see. You've got park, PK. Yeah, you've got it there.
Yeah, we try to be very thorough in what we present as viewshed analysis, just so everyone really has an idea of exactly what this would look like.
What section is that?
I
Anybody think of anything else that would be?
Is there a new home that, that's part of John James's, subdivided off by him. Is there a newer home built there? Or is that?
There's 3 new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have a newest residence marked here about 1,100 feet.
That's Zach Stewart's, but then there's the 2 homes
Like
page north.
that not on that. It's like.
So I think if you pull, I believe it's AD one, it's from the sheets in the back.
Yeah, we're.
Yeah.
I believe you're referring to property Steel and Brick.
Yes,
Mhm.
they were built out, yeah.
Seriously.
There's that too. Oh, here's the bigger one of this one in the computer generated view shed map is in the packet.
I'm sorry.
There's a bigger
Oh, yes.
version of that, yeah. If that helps anybody.
Yeah. Section nine.
Yeah.
You've got
And then-
Quaker Street, which makes sense because those are all National Historic Register sites.
Yep.
The Quaker Meeting House, yeah, and then a couple of the houses there too. Historic.
Then lot one also has that new house that they're building right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's the couple right on the corner there.
Yeah, that's lots 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Lot one actually had that subdivision broke
Yeah,
off of that.
What page is that?
Yeah, that's actually.
AD1.
Yeah, what
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 tab?
tab?
Oh, it's
So it is, if you go into the back of the pull-out apps are back there.
Yeah, so the lot 11 is where the granddaughter just was in here.
no,
No,
that was the one that John James said him and his wife are gonna live in. But that's Zach Stewart.
so which is the granddaughter's 5?
No, it's lot one. We broke off another subdivision.
Oh, it's not even reflected on.
It's not on here. No, it just happened. So
Yeah.
it's right here in this field, right here.
Just south of 11.
On the opposite side of the
Opposite side. Oh, okay. Yeah, right across.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah, so 2 and 3 have houses on them now.
Yep.
4 had, that was the first one that did. Like-
Well, that was the first subdivision.
Oh, yeah,
There's no house on it. I don't know what that.
that's where they
Like
wanted to put
tractor
the,
trailers.
well, that's what they were, originally came in proposed for a slaughterhouse or a processing. Okay.
That's prohibited in the town. Yeah.
I wasn't on.
So you say slaughterhouse
Yeah.
Like a process, yeah, it was a while ago.
sometimes?
I don't, so I don't see anything, if somebody else wants to take a crack at this.
Did you find appendix D? Yeah, yeah, I think it is for having it structured.
Says,
Fire apparatus. No, that's hydrants in this place.
What power?
I'm sorry?
What power do they
Yeah.
have? Power they gonna draw?
So we all.
Then of course, Pierre will draw up some amount of hours, one thing, single family residence. Four bedrooms, we had, so.
Building.
Well, you'll have underground power that goes.
So-
Never.
If National Grid or the utility providers needs to run anything from poles, whatever new poles need to be erected, will only exist in the right of way up until the beginning of the driveway. Everything from the driveway to the actual facility itself.
Tower could collapse under a storm. You need to get emergency vehicles there.
Yeah, I don't think there's two fire apparatus access roads required for a telecom tower. I just don't. I don't think there is. I think the question is the one access road to the tower sufficiently wide for emergency services? That's the question. So, and aerial apparatus roads, which are the largest roads, are 26 feet.
Yep.
Is there really a reason to have a road that's 26 feet to get out there when our fire trucks are not 26 feet wide?
No, I don't, I think the question was at a 12-foot wide road, it needed the turnaround.
In order to, in case somebody's blocking the road.
Yeah, that's all, that's what it was. There was two options. You make the road wider, or you put the turnaround in.
So up and around the tower compound. One second, it's easier to just refer this. This sheet C2 in the back. If the road doesn't just run up to the compound there, and there is a wider access space at the compound itself.
Yeah, understood. But I believe the emergency apparatus access road states that a turnaround has anything over 500 feet.
Yeah, it does say anything over 500 feet.
I mean, just like we've done on
Every-
all the solar
Every solar
projects.
project, yeah.
Well, you're the special approval. There you go. I think all the fire stuff
Special
is
about-
like crazy now. It's crazy, but.
So do we just?
So how long is the driveway?
1,200 feet approximately.
1,200 feet. So if you needed to turn around every 500 feet,
We can put, that they need, that was what we discussed. The other option was to make it 20 feet wide, I think, Chris, then you don't need the turnarounds.
Yes,
But if you guys didn't wanna do the 20 feet because you're gonna get over an acre for your disturbance.
I mean,
So,
with two pull-offs
would take care of it.
would take care of it.
yeah,
No problem.
Is it required? Do we determine if it's required?
I believe it is.
there's nothing in here that says it's not, that's the problem.
Nothing says it's not, so anything says it is.
There's nothing that says, there's nothing in here that says anything about solar or telecommunications or anything.
My suggestion is that you call the Department of State and talk to the guys there and just see what their take is on it, because people build these all the time.
If you have something too, I would love to see it.
Again, I believe we have something I just, from personal experience, in the 1 year that we've been doing this, we've never been required to build turnarounds. But again, I'm more than happy to go back and send them.
Yeah, I mean, if you have something that would help me.
I'm sure, I'm just surprised that none of the solar
That's, yeah,
companies would
that's the way to do it.
have.
Well, I think the big difference is that the solar companies most likely access the solar panels much more frequently than these guys do the telecom. I mean, how often do you go out there? 4 times a year?
Once a year.
Once a year? So that's the answer.
Towers go through an annual inspection by our own
Yeah.
people. And unless there's something were to happen, that's the only other time we ever go out.
Do you guys plow the snow on those roads all the time?
So our teams in the area, if we do need to get out to them, we do have like we have local contractors or somebody we can contract with to actually get out and plow the road if we need to. Our actual telecom teams, if they need to access the tower, have ATVs, snowmobiles and generators go up the road that way.
Sounds like an awesome job.
That's, in 1 year, that's a lot of towers to inspect, Chris.
Doesn't matter, drive the ATVs and then.
It's a good time.
But I would say check with DOS because people have to have asked before, you know, that.
Of course.
Yeah.
I think we were talking about views though, guys. He wanted us to tell him what views we thought, whether he thought he covered it all. Are all the X's views where you're gonna take photos?
Yes.
Okay.
I think
Is
it's
there
pretty
anything missing?
They obviously must have looked at the EAF mapper that identified, or actually that went on to Chris and identified all the
Yeah.
historic resources in the area.
Yes.
Okay.
What about some of the real close neighbors? We need any of those? Great, along the way to Chadwick.
It would be in their interest to look at those, obviously.
Yeah, the ones right on your corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest issues when we go to a public hearing will be the neighbors.
What do they-
Biggest property owners are, I don't think they're gonna love it. That's just my gut feeling, but you know, so anything you can do to try to introduce the thing to them and, you know, usually can't change people's minds, but put them at ease, if you can. So it's not a surprise. The
course.
last thing we want them is to come here and go, we didn't know anything about this till I got a letter in the mail 2 days ago.
Now, we understand, we also, that's something that we've
So,
run into non-frequently, so we tend to try to also take representative photos from the road, just
Yeah.
like around the site.
And I'm looking at the map, I'm wondering, I don't know what everyone thinks, but maybe also a spot at Darby Hill Road and Gallopville Road, because they don't really have much over there, and that's just an intersection. That just is an additional point.
We had our regional Buddhist temple up there.
Oh, right.
Take a picture there.
Yeah, I'm just thinking it might be helpful. one more. So that's right at the corner of Darby Hill Road and Gallopville Road. So it's just to the west, southwest.
No problem.
Yep, it's a good idea.
Once the balloon goes up in the air, it's very easy to take photos from wherever. It's just a drive down the road, so.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is gonna be, there's several brand new house, you know, relatively new houses right there. I mean, you're gonna have to, you know, I would take one from there and just if they're not notified before that. Or like I think we talked about last time was possibly letting us know and we could put it on the town website on when the balloon will be up and, you know, people are concerned or want to see for themselves.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it would be really worthwhile to post them, but also to let the neighbors know within the hearing distance
Yeah,
of the date of that. So Lindsay, if that's something you can do. So it would be the same people that get the notice of a public hearing, make sure they get a notice of the balloon fly and who to contact.
There'll also be notice for the ZBA as well for the area variance, if I'm not mistaken.
Use
So,
variance.
for the use variance, thank you. So when we will also have we'll have either myself or Hyde Clark, who was at Tuesday's meeting, as well as our RF engineers site acquisition, everybody, so they have ample times both at the ZBA and here to ask and have questions answered. We'll also provide general materials that we bring as far as RF safety and concerns go. And that generally covers most concerns everyone has.
And then I just had one question. It's just looking at this map. At the corner of Schoharie Turnpike and Chadwick Road, it says X/C. And I don't know if that's represented in this list of locations. I don't know why it doesn't have a number next to it like all the others do.
To be perfectly honest with you, our engineer Steve Matthews did that while he was walking out of the office one day. It's quite possible he just didn't add it on there. I'll double check with him tomorrow.
Yeah, so if we could just make sure we do have Schoharie Turnpike and Chadwick Road as one of the locations.
Could that possibly be X1C?
Maybe. Maybe.
I'll have him forward over another list of the locations. We can pass that along to the board as well.
Yeah, I think Chris is right. I
Yeah.
think that's what it is. So that's Chadwick Farmhouse, 515 Schoharie Turnpike, I think, yeah.
Sometimes I get lucky.
Yeah, nice big guy.
You are gonna propose to do the balloon test in the winter leave-off condition, worst case visual?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the balloon test will most likely be, I mean, with the holidays coming up, it will most likely be conducted at some point around mid-January. And it will be representative of leaf-off conditions. Fortunately, if I'm not mistaken, there are some not completely representative trees of that height in that area, but there is some tree line in that area to provide some break, so.
And you'll
Well,
let
just-
Chris know when the balloons are gonna go up in the air.
Of course, we'll let the
Yeah.
town know.
Yeah.
I'll have to I don't know this, your zoning code off the top of my head, if notices are required of the balloon fly. But we will absolutely let you know ahead of time.
Yeah, what we'd like you to do is we'd like you to send out notices of it and a packet of information, save Lindsay from having to do it.
Yeah.
Because it's not like an official notice of a public hearing, so it's more for informational purposes, so people can stick their heads out their door and see if they see the balloons.
Is that something that we should put on the website, do you think?
Yeah, but we want them to send it too, because
Yeah.
people don't always look at the website.
Yeah, I'm just saying for ourselves,
Yeah.
with all the drone stuff and everything else going on,
Yeah.
and now there's a balloon flying.
So we have a standard notice letter that we send out. We have an adjoiner list for the site, I believe, so we
Great.
can send it to our normal adjoiner list.
Yeah.
within 500 or 1,000 for this.
I think it's within 500. I think the solar is 1,000 for some reason.
I
That's,
think we do
We
a
always
1,000.
do
We do 1,000 for
we do
everything.
1,000,
Just-
okay, we'll do
Just
1,000.
to be proactive.
The lots are so big in town that, you know,
In the adjoiners list, though, that's the plan we were looking at, the 81.
Mhm.
Make sure you include the new lot that was just created.
Yeah.
What, 2 months ago?
Yeah.
Is it on AD1? If you,
It's a lot that was created out of lot number 1.
Mr. James knows where it is.
It's his granddaughter.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make a note of that then, because so the way we pull the adjoiner list is, it's tax map numbers, so.
Yeah, I'm sure they only update the tax maps though once a year, so.
No, that's what I'm saying, is that
Yeah.
it's been created that recently, we would not have that on record.
Yeah.
But okay, we will, we can add that.
Teresa, how far in advance should they send out these notices? 2 weeks, 10 days?
I would give them at least 2 weeks if you can. Because otherwise people get grumpy.
Mhm.
You know.
We can give 2 weeks, what we'll do then too is we include in these letters, we have a date and a rescheduled date. Especially come winter time, winter weather, whatever it may be, and then if it has to be rescheduled from that point, we of course let you guys know again. And then in that case, we can renotice, it's only, I believe, 10 properties, so, yeah, it's
Perfect.
Next steps.
Lead agency, right?
Lead agency, and it's type 1. So I will make a motion that the town of Dwaynesburg.
Wait a second, what do you think?
Telecom towers generally fall under unlisted actions. Again, the,
Would you look at our telecom local law?
Hmm?
Our local law, the telecom local law.
I didn't see that your local law, because the seeker itself, has telecoms unlisted, because the only part of it that could apply was a structure over 100 feet tall. In a local municipality without a zoning code though, as you have a zoning code.
Just give me a second while I look at the
No, of course.
telecom law. That's no problem.
Again, I apologize, I'm not trying to be difficult, I'm just trying to make sure everything gets done the first time around.
No, we want to certainly do it properly.
Right, and we're gonna, we're gonna circulate.
This is nice, there's someone yelling at me tonight, so.
We can do that if you want.
I've already had 2 this week, I've really.
That's why we made Mike stay home.
Well,
The rest of it, you can take that as an anchor.
Yeah, well,
You're lucky you're not dealing with one in Fairbush or.
I had somebody on Tuesday, ask me a series of questions, not let me respond to any of them, and ask where I lived at the end of the meeting. So that was,
That's a hard no.
yeah, that was enough excitement for the week for me.
Yeah, I'm looking, the only mention I see of seeker in here is, as you might expect, the visibility and the fact that they need to have a completed full environmental assessment form.
Mm.
So it does say that. And we are gonna coordinate it, so it really makes little to no difference whether it's unlisted or type 1. You are within proximity to some historic structures, are you sure you're not?
We run a concurrent examination with Chris, and then also we have our own internal service, which examines historical and potentially archaeological sensitive properties in the area. We have nothing back from them, so generally silence from them is unbearable.
And before I forget about it, yeah, I don't see anything in here that changes the classification under seeker. So now we turn to seeker.
So seeker says, the one thing it does say is because it's over 100 feet. Structure, and what it does, I want to check the language, what it does say is that if the town, I believe, has a height ordinance. Not necessarily a telecom ordinance, but that's the language I just want to check quickly. Here we go, I have it, Teresa.
Yep, what number? Oh, any structure exceeding 100 feet above original ground level locality without any zoning regulations pertaining to height, which we have.
Okay,
So we do have that. And it doesn't refer to thresholds, which gets you into trouble in a lot of these because of, impact on historic structures, like any unlisted action that exceeds 25% of any threshold occurring wholly or partially within or substantially contiguous to any historic building, structure, facility, site, or district or prehistoric site. So threshold. All right. Yeah, Elizabeth, I don't see anything there or in the parkland that would kick us over with you.
Do a type one, I don't think so, and since, I think just based on a very quick review of the project, most notable concern will be from the public in terms of visual impacts, in terms of environmental impacts, and adverse. So, we call it unlisted action.
All right.
Do you folks agree?
Yeah, okay, sure.
All right, so I will declare the town of Dwaynesburg Planning Board the lead agency for these Verizon Dwaynesburg ES cell tower on Shadwick Road. And we've determined that it will be an unlisted action pursuant to State Environmental Quality Review Act. So I will make that motion.
It's intent to coordinate.
And we will conduct a coordinated review. Thank you.
I'll second.
Board Member Novak?
Yes.
Board Member Hoffman?
Yes.
Chairman Schmidt?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Harris?
Yes.
Board Member Houghton?
Yes.
Oh, well, there you go. You both the answers. So we have to refer it to county planning and we also have to do a lead agency coordination letter. Remember, I think I gave you an example of one of those that we've done before.
Yep.
So it'll go to DEC, it'll go to OPRHP. Who else would you like it to go to, Elizabeth?
Considering historic.
Yep, no, the
SHPO.
OPRHP, yeah, SHPO.
Ag and those farms.
Land, right?
Is it in an ag district?
I believe so. My grandfather's old property is an ag district, which is, I believe, which is parcel number.
John James's property was, so
Yeah.
that makes sense. Ag and markets, 15 days later. Anybody in the county, what road are you coming out on for, is that county road?
Yep.
So county road. County DPW. You don't have any septic or water or anything out there, right?
No, we start building,
Just checking.
we start building septic systems on these, it's make my life a lot more complicated.
How about coordination with the fire department, anything like that?
Yeah, we should send it out to the fire guys. Which district?
Quaker Street.
Quaker Street. To the fire chief. Yeah, we better send it to DOT just because you're within 500 feet of I-88, yeah. So
As far as the fire department goes, if they have any questions, we frequently speak with fire chiefs all the time. I'm more than happy to contact information, give them ours. Welcome to whatever.
do you guys know who the fire chief is in Quaker Street?
I believe it, is that Bobby Joe?
Bobby Joe.
Do you have the telephone number?
No.
No.
I don't know if Bobby Joe
Joe
has a
Dill.
telephone.
Bill would do. Bill would do.
Call Jen Howe, the town clerk.
Will do.
She may have the number
Thank you.
for you.
Got shots for side by side.
Okay, yeah, and we will, yeah, definitely do DOT to the.
I'm pretty sure it's Bobby Joe.
So why don't run through the list for Lindsay, so she has them, so we'll just make it easy.
DEC Ag and Markets, County DPW, Fire Department, DOT, Bobby Joe Ability. Anyway.
That's the.
Yeah, that's right.
And
Anyway,
the
OPRHP.
school district. opioid in the school district. Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay.
You need to table this or just let it go
Well, you gotta move,
on this?
yeah.
Okay.
So we will need, yeah, so I made the motion.
So you need a second.
Yep.
I thought I seconded it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we did the
We
leading.
went around, didn't we?
Yeah.
Oh, you
Did
voted
you-
on that
Yeah, I thought so. Okay.
We will need part one of the short environmental assessment form.
already? Well, we want the full EAF
Oh, we do wanna
because
do the
that's
full EAF,
the
okay.
telecom requires us to
I
do.
believe it's provided in the package.
Yeah, it's
on
section
one, section
I
one.
didn't see it.
Packet, section 1.
I told you, we try to be very, very sensitive.
Like Brendan already.
So how do you feel about helping us send this out to all the interested and involved agencies?
Could you clarify, please?
Okay, so if we gave you a letter, could you do it and then give us an affidavit that it went around?
I don't see any reason why not.
Okay. So let's try that.
There are, however, we have run into circumstances in the past where boards have asked us to send these letters. We've gotten not pushback, but non-acceptance from state agencies before and some local agencies. Because technically the letters of referral are supposed to come from boards. We have no problem sending it, just we have had people reject it and ask that it come from boards before. More than happy to try.
Well,
Um,
why don't you send Lindsay like 10 copies?
Of course.
I think 10 will do it, and then we can get it out.
Right, absolutely. When you say 10 copies of materials.
Well, yeah, probably best
No problem.
to do it that way. Will that be enough in county planning?
Yeah, I only have.
Oh, and we have to send it to the ZBA even though they've already consented. So, with enthusiasm.
So 7, so 10.
10 is good.
I had 8, Lindsay, maybe let's just go over those again.
Hold on.
You have the school, huh?
3, 4, 5, 6, I have 7. What am I missing? I counted the schools as 1. Obviously, there are 2.
I counted as 1 too.
Oh, okay.
So, I'll go through EDC,
Yeah,
DOT,
yes,
County DPW,
yes,
Ag and Markets,
yes.
State Historic Preservation Office, which is also OPRHP,
No, I don't think that. OPRIHP.
Office of Parks, Recreation, Historic Preservation. It's a long one. And then the fire department, which was, we joked.
Yeah.
The street and the school district.
Okay, so is that what I was missing?
And the ZBA.
And the ZBA, okay.
It's your phone.
Yep, OPRHP.
Okay, that's.
And now you table.
Uh, 9. Yeah,
Before we table, do you have any other questions for us at this point?
No, at this point, we're all good. So we'll do, probably end up doing the balloon flying, the view shed and everything in mid-January. We'll make sure we touch base with the board though, let you guys know exactly what's going up, when and where. That we'll provide affidavits of mailing for notice letters. And then if you guys have anything else in the interim, all of our contact information on there, please feel free to call or email.
It would be great if 2 of our, Elizabeth, I don't know if you're in town or not, but maybe if you and Jeff could watch the balloons.
I live right there.
But you work during the day.
That's an
You can't
excuse
do
to
it
take
at
the day
night.
Can I have like
It-
Mickey Mouse on them or anything, or?
It is quite possibly the most boring thing you could do. It is, it's a helium tank with some weights on the bottom and a 6-foot round weather balloon. One guy stays at the bottom of the site to make sure the balloon doesn't fly off, and then 2 others go drive around town and take pictures.
How long does this whole process take? A couple days or? is it-
The balloon?
No, yeah.
The balloon should be done within 4 hours probably. Once they get it up, it's pretty efficient. The entire project though.
Then you gotta move the balloon. all around it, or you just put it one balloon up, or is it?
No, so the balloon stays in the actual location of the tower, and then we go to the different spots and take
Okay,
photos from
alright.
different locations. But then,
What we were thinking was gonna happen.
I thought they were gonna attach the balloon to the back of
Roads.
Power lines are anyway. Okay, I'll make a motion to table the Verizon Wireless Waynesburg ES, Chadwick Road until the January 16th, 2025 meeting.
I didn't mean to imply that you can't do it.
Vice Chairman Harris.
Yes.
Chairman Schmidt.
Yes.
Board Member Hoffman.
Yes.
Board Member Houghton.
Yes.
Board Member Nova.
Yes. You should feel free to take it off.
thank you all very much.
I just motion
No,
to
I
table.
won't. I couldn't see the balloon in my.
All right.
All right, let's go.
Barely.
Thank you all.
We have one survivor, a sole
Yes.
survivor. Pretty good.
Last but not least, so that hoping mine will be simple.
Let's introduce.
So my name is
Roseanne.
Roseanne DeVille. Did you want, what'd you say? I'm sorry.
I had to introduce you, I'm just good.
Oh, okay. Um,
181 Little Road. Find yourself doing it in 81 acres.
Yes, so there is an existing house there and the subdivision which consists of 6 acres with the house and the other 75 acres in the lot 2. And that's really basically it on the corner of Little and Skyline. Where I've lived since 2005, and everyone has a packet or a site map.
Chris, everything compliant on lot one?
Yep.
What's the plan with respect to lot 2?
I'd like to sell it.
So the only things that I saw were lot one, and I'm sure it's gonna be fine, but the septic and well aren't shown.
I noticed that, yeah.
I couldn't hear you.
The septic and well are not shown for the existing residents.
Okay,
So they have to be shown on the map to make sure.
Okay.
It appears like there's enough buffer, but they've gotta be shown that you're not separating off your
okay,
septic system
yeah,
and well.
so absolutely. We are not, but I paid a lot of money for this map, so at least they can put that on there. A lot of money.
Yeah.
It's
So-
a nice looking man.
So I will call the surveyor tomorrow and let him know that he needs to mark the septic and the well.
If you can get them out of Buffalo.
That's right, that's exactly where he is. And
He's-
sometimes his wife is here and maybe he'll come home for the holidays. We started this in June. I
He's
just
doing,
got-
he's doing all the construction layout for the Buffalo Bills stadium.
Yep. Is it
Oh,
right?
really? That's exciting.
But
If you're a Bills fan, yes.
Yeah.
And the owner is $5.5 million.
Are we good to refer this to Chris, condition on adding the septic and well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you wanna come back again, we can just complete this tonight.
Oh my gosh, I would love that. I have, it's been a learning experience and I enjoyed it, so. It wasn't a waste of time at all. I enjoyed it a lot.
We've got
And
an
it's nice
extra seat
to
up there.
see how organized and how well you all do and.
So I could be a member of the board?
See everyone and, pardon me,
You'd like to be a member of the board? We're looking for members.
possibly down the road, when I get back from Florida.
All right, so what we can do is, before Mike does this, we can issue an administrative approval of this subject to the revised map, and if something's awry with that map, then
Chris will, I won't sign it.
Chris won't sign it, okay?
Right, so I will let him know, then he'll provide the map, and then you just need 1 copy, 2 copies, how many?
So 3 paper copies and a Mylar.
Okay.
Yep.
Perfect,
Okay,
thank you, I appreciate your time.
our famous orator, Mike, take over.
The planning board has reviewed the Demio, proposed minor subdivision on 181 Little Road. And we have determined that this action either creates or increases any significant planning issues with respect to the existing or potential future use of any involved parcels. We declare the proposed action be exempt from any further subdivision review pursuant to section 3.4. And for the applicant to the code enforcement officer to complete administration of the same. With the following condition that the well and septic need to be included on the site plan before Chris completes the document. I think that motion.
Second,
Vice Chairman Harris,
Yes.
Board Member Hoffman,
yes.
Chairman Schmidt,
Yes.
Board Member Houghton,
Yes.
Board Member Novak.
Yes.
Okay, there you go.
Thank
Merry
you.
Christmas.
Thank you very much. Merry Christmas.
It takes the weight. See,
I know,
you were first, you went into it.
well, it was interesting. It really was. Thank you. It was an education for sure.
Okay, other, proposed local law.
So I revised it based on all the comments I've gotten from everybody to date. And then I got another comment today and I didn't get a chance to make that change.
Okay.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send it all to you individually. And if you could give me comments, and when you do, copy Bill Wenzel, that would be really helpful, okay? It's much simplified.
Was the comment you got today about any substance?
Well, it was one I wanted to check with Dale and Chris about, because the question was, should we allow people to store more than one RV on their property? And if we do, you know, where should we store it? Because right now the code provides that you get to store one, not, you know.
Yeah, my concern with it is it's too restrictive with respect to trailers. Most of my friends. are
We
not-
took all the trailer stuff
So
out.
the one that's in here is not the current one.
No,
Okay.
no, you
All
can
right.
throw that one
Yeah.
Throw it
away.
away, all right.
You can throw
That's
that
like
one away.
a-
We
it's
should.
utility trailers, boat
Right,
trailers.
that's-
The intention was travel trailers, like, you know, the little
Yep.
pop-up
Yep.
campers that you
Yep.
carry on behind, but that caused a firestorm of,
Yeah, okay, as long as it's the current one.
yeah, you can have 50 utility trailers if you want. Nobody does, but like Chris is like, please don't do that. So this one is vastly more simplified, but I just didn't know how to address the one question, so. And I know Chris wants to get it back in front of the town board, and that's the plan. But please, if you could give me comments, it would be great, because it went through a public hearing and we got no comments other than from you, and the ZBA had a few comments. I forget the gentleman's name at the ZBA. And, you know, and then there was like a whole bunch of comments from people afterwards, so I'm just trying to get all the comments at once. You know, it's much improved now.
Good.
The other thing that's, I didn't see on the agenda is CTEC's request that we approve the transfer of their special use permit to Mardon Solar LLC. And they've given us a letter that says, CTEC Solar LLC would like to officially request permission from the town of Duanesburg Planning Board to transfer our recently issued special use permit for our solar facility located at 10516 Western Turnpike from CTEC Solar LLC to Mardon Solar LLC. Mardon Solar LLC is our special purpose entity for this particular project. However, we will still adhere to all conditions set forth by the planning board in its special use permit and will not deviate from any responsibilities set forth in the SUP. We appreciate your attention and consideration to this matter. And then today, Sophie sent a link to the documents now in the name of moving it from CTEC Solar to Mardon Solar.
Sonia.
Sonia, what did I say?
Said Sophie.
I,
Does
okay.
Mardon have the I don't know how you transfer this to another entity, but they have the financial backing to do all the.
Doesn't it go with the property?
I was just gonna say the same thing. I thought the special use permit was for the property, so it doesn't matter who the owner is.
That is my opinion, but for some reason they want it in the name of Mardon Solar LLC, probably because that's the name in which they've applied to NYSERDA for benefits. And the name in which they have the interconnection agreement and all
I mean,
that.
didn't we have half the stuff had Mardon on it at some point?
Yeah.
It started the same exact.
I mean, if I had understood that's what they wanted, I would have just put it in the resolution to begin with, so. And I'm not proposing to change the resolution or anything, just to have you in the minutes approve, you know,
It's an attachment to the special use permit, it's like a letter of the minutes, and that's all, right?
this, their letter and your vote in the minutes authorizing the transfer of it to Mardon Solar LLC condition, you know, subject to all the.
It's follow the conditions.
And that letter would be legally binding,
Yeah.
essentially.
It's signed by the project manager.
Yeah.
So someone's
Need
gotta
a
make
motion?
a motion. Right? I make a motion to.
Mark,
Accept
approve.
accept the transfer of the special use permit for the CTEC solar project. To Ardon Solar LLC.
I can second that.
Board Member Hoffman,
Yes.
Board Member Houghton,
Yes.
Chairman Schmidt.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Harris.
Yes.
Board Member Novak. Yes.
And Lindsay, if we can just make sure we have that letter in the minutes, do you want me to give it to you?
I don't think I ever.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. You could just attach it to the minutes. And that should do it.
Even though seconds after.
Tell all these solar.
Yeah, that's what
They
it's
all
kind
have
of odd.
approval and made it sold.
The last, what they do now is they tend to sell the special entity. So,
So, Lindsay, do you prepare the minutes?
Yeah.
Thanks, you got it.
Really?
Yep,
Yeah.
but I say that, I said a couple of minor corrections, but they're not, overall, don't let that overshadow, they're very well done. So, bottom of the first page, do you have a copy of them? All right. I can just give you my items.
Go ahead.
Okay, at the bottom of the first page, it says, along with music and flashing lights that are supposed to be off at night, and they are on, just missing the word on. Or
Okay.
they are left on or something they are on.
Okay.
And then on the page. The second to last page. Underneath Verizon Wireless. I think in the middle of the first paragraph, it states, he stated that the project should be less than a total of 0.5 acres of disturbance, right? Is that what you're talking about there?
Yeah.
And then, I'm sorry, the line before that. Stated that the tower would be 5G enabled with less than 1% radiation of FCC allowable, I believe is what he talked about.
Okay.
Because it was,
That's correct. Yeah.
1% radiation doesn't mean anything, it's gotta be something. Now go ahead.
So FCC of allowable.
1% radiation of the FCC allowable radiation or FCC allowance.
Allowable limits.
Allowable, there we go.
Okay.
Yeah. That's great.
Okay.
Nothing in the actual minutes, but on the agenda, it's the November 21st meeting.
Yeah, I did notice that and I felt really guilty about reprinting it 9 times, like 1 million times.
All right.
I wanted to save trees, I'm sorry.
you can always just hand correct,
Okay, all right.
you know. We're not picky.
Yeah.
There's lots of trees.
Oh, don't listen to that. Tell the
Feel
truth.
free to grow.
Yeah.
You guys have anything else in the minutes?
I get one, Teresa, on our favorite subject, did you hear any more from, Spiros Council, the Spiros Council?
Other than him calling up and saying he was going to sue us, no, nobody's been served.
Okay.
Or they haven't told me, but Jen's really good, she would have told.
Did we have a motion for that?
We did.
I can make a motion to approve the November 21st planning board minutes
As amended.
as amended.
Second.
Okay. Board Member Houghton,
Yes.
Board Member Hoffman,
Yes.
Chairman Schmidt,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Harris.
Yes.
Board Member Novak, I abstain.
You're still okay, right?
Yeah.
You can still have more.
We should celebrate. It's the first time we've been out here before 9 o'clock and.
Well, if you.
Haven't adjourned yet.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Everybody have a Merry Christmas.
Thank you, same to
I'll
you.
second. Merry
Board Member
Christmas.
Houghton,
Yes.
Board Member Novak.
Yes.
Board, Chairman Schmidt, Vice Chairman Harris.
Yes.
Board Member Hoffman.
Yes.
I have a conference call at 9 o'clock.
This is by design. This is.